Hello everybody, it's Refresh, and I am here to bring to you a look at Fantasy Flight Supply's clear sleeves for standard American board game size cards. The package is labeled for card size 57 by 89 millimeters or 2 1/4 by 3.5 inches. And the package says specifically that it's 100 microns thick, and that cards that might fit in here include games such as Citadel, Descent Journeys into the Dark, Munchkin, Bonanza, and many others. One pack is going to cost you $2.49 MSRP, and that will give you 50 sleeves, and that will total out to just about 6 cents per sleeve. So this is a little bit on the more pricier side, but let's see if what we have inside is worth it. As you can see, the sleeve is glossy and smooth on both sides. Let's see if it's sized as advertised. So it measures out to be just a little bit more than a centimeter wide, which would suggest that the sleeves are just a little bit more than 200 microns each or 100 microns thick each face. Let's take a look at the dimensions of the sleeve. It would be 59 millimeters across and 92.5 millimeters tall. Let's see how a card fits in it. I have here a Bonanza Black-Eyed Bean card. And it looks like it fits quite well. There's a little bit of space on both sides, but it's not super snug. On the other hand, at the very top, there is a considerable amount of space between the opening of the sleeve and the top edge of the card. It's really visible, and some people aren't going to like that much space at the top. Now it's time for the sleeving test. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sleeve these 45 Bonanza cards into 45 of these 50 clear sleeves, and I will measure how long that it takes. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Alright, so it took 2 minutes and 33 seconds to sleeve these 45 cards from Bonanza, and that is the very slow rate of 3.4 seconds per sleeve. Now, I think it might have something to do with the fact that these sleeves are extra long, and so you have to actually push each card in a lot more in order to get it all the way to the bottom of each sleeve. So I think that has something to do with it. Now that all the cards are sleeved, we can take a look at the uniformity of the sleeves, which looks to be excellent. All the sleeves, as you can see, are quite uniform. They have perfectly even tops and sides. Looking at the top of the sleeves, like a lot of sleeves, the openings pop open a bit so that you can see the top edge of the cards, which means that it is possible for dust or whatever to get in there. But because there's so much distance from the opening of the sleeve to the top edge of the card, I feel relatively safe compared to shorter top sleeves that it would take a lot more effort for something to touch the top and then get in. We have 5 sleeves left, so that means that we have the exact 50 sleeves that are advertised on this package, which is good to hear. Next, let's do the shuffle test. So what I'm going to do is take these 45 sleeved Bonanza cards and give them 100 shuffles and see how long that it takes. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 100 shuffles took 1 minute and 52 seconds, and that is the pretty impressive speed of about 1.12 seconds per shuffle. It was fast. I mean, there were some issues while shuffling because there is a bit of resistance like the Game Plus sleeves. If you are shuffling much more slower, then you're gonna find that, you know, these don't shuffle that badly. But the one downside to shuffling these sleeves is that despite their rigidity and their bit of resistance, they do slide up and down a bit. And so sometimes when you're shuffling, the cards might flip out of your hands. And so even during this last shuffle, I had a few sleeves fly out of my hands a few times. However, despite the fact that this happened, I still managed to shuffle these sleeved cards in a very fast time. That means that despite the fact that I had to stop and pick up the sleeved cards, I still managed to get this shuffling done in a pretty good time. And so I think that's a really positive look for the cards when you're trying to shuffle them at a more reasonable amount and pace. Let's take a look at the sleeves now that they have been shuffled a few times to look for any damage or bending or scuffing or anything like that. Overall, I would say that these sleeves are in really good shape despite their initial 100 shuffles. The sleeves don't have any noticeable scuffing or damage or wear on them, so I think that these sleeves should prove to be fairly durable. Okay, next what I'm going to do is the shake test. So these 45 sleeved Bonanza cards are in a deck, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to shake the deck for about 2 seconds to see whether or not it holds up. Ready? So in 2 seconds of shaking, it looks like the deck started to slide a bit more shaking, and it might have come down, but it did not actually fall apart, which is a good sign. And a hard bump to the table doesn't look like it's going to shake anything, so it would really take continued shaking to knock the deck down. I think that's a pass. Next up is the draw test, so I'm going to draw 3 cards off the top of this and see if the deck holds together pretty well. Nothing sticks or flies off as a result of the drawing. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so that's a pass. The sleeves pick up pretty well. The deck does not want to pull too much in the direction of the cards that I'm drawing, nor will the deck fall over as a result. If you really attempt to knock it over, it's gonna fall over. But drawing cards doesn't seem to be a problem. Overall, I think I really like the Fantasy Flight Supplies clear sleeves for standard American board game cards. I think that the consistency of the package is really nice, that there are no noticeable production flaws, and that every single sleeve is uniform with all the other sleeves is really appreciable. I think the one downside to the sleeves as they are designed is that I think some people might really not like the fact that there is so much visible plastic at the top of the sleeve between the opening of the sleeve and the top line of the card, at least with these Bonanza cards. And if that's going to be an issue for you, there may be other sleeves for you to look at. But I really thought that aside from that one issue, the feel and the look of these sleeves outside of the package is really nice. Now, they are a bit rigid and they are a little bit slow to sleeve. However, they shuffled pretty well. They were a little bit slippery at times so that the cards flipped out of the hands, and there was a little bit of resistance in the shuffling process. But even with that, they shuffled pretty quickly, and so I was quite pleased with the overall feel of the shuffle. Would I say that these are the best shuffling sleeves out there? No, I would not. But they don't feel bad and they get the job done. And, you know, once I gave these sleeves some use, they really seemed to retain their initial feel. Now, like with all sleeves, these will wear over time, and so they're not going to be amazing after maybe like a few thousand uses. However, the sleeves do seem to be fairly durable and will probably stand the test of regular, predictable usage like shuffling and handling and people holding these cards in their hands. They are a little bit more expensive, so that is something that you're going to have to gauge whether or not you want to spend about a cent more per sleeve than some of their competitors. But that, and perhaps the excessive amount of plastic at the top, will be the only downsides for some of you. And otherwise, I think the Fantasy Flight Supplies clear sleeves for standard American board game cards are a very good option for many of you out there. If you have a lot of experience with these sleeves, I have a couple surveys in the description box below that you can help fill out to give a little bit more feedback to fellow viewers and readers of my Innit Games blog. And that there's a resource page which tracks sort of the responses that you leave on the surveys about the overall consistency of the sleeves that you find from pack to pack, as well as the overall durability of those sleeves if you have some experience with using them over time. If this video was helpful to you, hit the like button for me. It lets me know that you appreciate what I am doing with these sleeve reviews. And if you'd like to see more sleeve reviews and other related gaming videos, hit the subscribe button. I just want to thank you for watching. I appreciate your viewership. This was Refresh, and I will see you next time.